Pro Brick exclusive YouTube channel with Pro Bricky, otherwise known as Reverend Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist. I want to talk to you briefly about age as you start getting on. Now, one of the principles that I've always lived by is I haven't got time to muck around. I haven't got time to stuff around, be messed around, and all the other stuff that can happen to you with women. I am pretty staunch on my standards, but as you get older and you see some of the unpredictable evil and messery, or fuckery is another way you could say it, that jumps out at you as relationships wear on, it takes life experience, like tremendous life experience. I'm going on 60 now and have really tried hard to just have normality within a relationship. But what you'll find as you get older is women, there's not very many women that can cope with order, discipline. And that's keeping things in order on a regular basis, day in, day out, not in a militant way, but in a way in which things run at their optimum, be it that keeping the house clean, eating well, getting your exercise done, having a good sexual life, making sure you communicate, anything that needs to be resolved, brought to the table and resolved, check in once it's resolved, all this sort of stuff. And what I've found is people or women begin to fall away. Now, I'm not dealing with men, so I don't give a shit about what men do. I operate for myself. I'll operate the way I need to be to present myself well and be a good man. I couldn't give a shit what men do. If you're fucking your life up because of your lack of discipline or habits, alcohol, drink, the usual habits that ruin things for women, then that's your business. I'm trying to live a precise, well-presented, healthy, able to communicate, able to have discernment, able to be sexual, able to be attractive, able to be interesting, fully aware, switched on, without any interference life. But as you get older and you run into things where you think everything's going to be fine and the next minute it's all falling to shit, you've got two ways of going about things, I've found. The first way is to show some patience and some understanding, because when you get to my age, you just don't want to be, you want things to work if possible. And so you, through experience, learn how to be more flexible and understanding. But at the same time, while you're being that, I've learnt that you're also watching whether progress is being made. And what I've found is women will understand the agreements, but they will not fix something they don't see needs to be fixed. And this is why a lot of women are ending up alone. They're not listening to, if it's a fair request, the person that they're with, the man that they're with, they're not listening, and they're losing. Or they're selective listening and they're only dealing with what suits. Because I'm a bricklayer and a block layer, which is completely and utterly demanding, and I'm getting older now, and you have to exercise and stuff, excuse me, away from work so that you can keep up with the work. People say to me, how do you manage what you do? Well, you've got to do extra to be able to do the normal as a bricklayer. And so it's the same with a relationship. You've got to monitor yourself. You've got to present yourself fairly to the other person. If there's a conflict, you've got to be fair. You've got to fight fair. You expect them to fight fair. And there can be no room for negligence. Now, negligence is when something has been appealed, something has been brought to the front as an issue, and it's being ignored or it's being exasperated. You'll find a lot of the time when a woman has disrespect turned into or gotten to the stage where a disrespect is starting to show, it'll escalate. I don't like to let things escalate. I tell you why. I've learned now that you can give tolerance to things that you really don't want to tolerate to see if they're going to change. But if the problem isn't fixed initially, I can tell you for the most part, it's not going to be fixed eventually. Now listen to this. If the problem isn't being fixed initially, and it could have been, it's definitely not going to be fixed eventually because it should have been. Some things people just are going to have more value for than the relationship. And you've got to get to the point in your life where you go, this person values this problem more than my person. It's called disrespect. And if you've allowed time and been fair and shown that this issue is something that really is something that you're not going to be able to tolerate, then I hope that you have it within you to be able to go, I'm out. Now, there's a lot happens when you go, I need you to leave, or I'm out and I'm not going to be coming back. I tell you why. Everybody's made big investments, time investments, love investments. You become close to that person, you understand that person, and this is the mind-boggling part. Most people are just not going to feed into the relationship in a way in which it's going to endure. They'll come in and they'll get it all started and set up and get it on its way, and then all of a sudden, here we go, things start to deteriorate. Now, I don't know if you've experienced this. I think everybody's experienced this, but it's gotten worse as time has gone by. Our society is crashing, collapsing from the top down. And the only thing I can say to you in closing this talk is this. You can love somebody, you can enjoy somebody, you can build with somebody 100%. But I'm learning that attaching to somebody, you can co-join, you can be pliable, you can co-join and intertwine, but you cannot and should not attach. In my last relationship, the big subject was, codependency. I don't like codependent people. I thought, you don't know me. You just don't know me. Codependency is just gross. It's not something that you practice, but yet this is where a lot of the other side of relationships problems come from. This is where the word narcissist gets abused. It's just a matter of people being codependent and not being able to let go. And that doesn't suit people that want to let go, whether it be legitimate or not. So they then label the person a narcissist. But what they've missed is 9 times out of 10, the person invested and was genuine about the relationship and didn't want to let it go. That's not a narcissist. And you can look up the definition of a narcissist if you like and study it and find out whether you really have dealt with one or not, because people are throwing the name around like it's some kind of a joke. Not that I've been labelled that, I haven't, but I'm just saying I'm sick and tired of hearing that so-and-so was a narcissist when so-and-so wasn't. Different if they were. So you're living in an age now where anything can happen at any time. But what I will say to you is this. You must resolve the issues before the issues resolve you. A lot of people are mules. They're stubborn when it comes to things that don't suit. But if you really want your relationship to last, and that person is important to you, excuse me, then you need to do your part to make sure the relationship lasts, if that's what you want. If you don't want, just keep the issues unresolved and get what you deserve, which is a breakup. And that might mean pulling people into line around you. The big thing with relationships today is interferers. You get all these stupid, conceited, jealous interferers that are only out for their best interests. And I've seen so many women get left standing on the sideline because they lost their focus. They put things outside the relationship that shouldn't have been there in place of the relationship and ended up without a relationship. And for some people, they really don't care, and they end up just bouncing from one person to the next and end up with crying. You don't see behind it, closed doors, how unhappy and sad these people are, medicated, all the rest of it that goes with it, on drugs, drink. It's a stairway where all the steps lead down and none lead up. A cave where all the footsteps lead in and none lead out. And it's a very important part of life that shouldn't be played with. It's all being taken for granted now. A lot of it. How do you fix this? Co-join, interact, do what you got to do and enjoy what you got to enjoy and be a great partner, but do not attach. Do not psychologically attach and become dependent on the person that you're with. It's not fair on them, and it's not fair on you, because if the wheels fall off the wagon, if the spaceship, second part of the spaceship separates from the main one because it's run out of fuel, if some other interest comes up where this person gets pulled away because they've got so many things coming at them now, so many options these women have got, that they just lose interest and move on to the next. When you get to my age, you just haven't got time to muck around. And for the most part, really, you're better off being on your own. You're better off. So this is Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist, on the Pro Brick exclusive YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me, and bye for now.